Welcome to United Report, your daily hub for all things Manchester United. From breaking news to transfer talk and match updates, we've got every red covered. If you live and breathe United, hit subscribe and join the family. Glory, glory, Man United.
Drama at Old Trafford. Manchester United lose £62 million star Matheus Cunha to injury. VAR cancels a penalty. And Bruno Fernandes seals a last-gasp win over Burnley. But was the referee right? Manchester United were handed a bitter injury blow during Saturday's Premier League win over Burnley, as Matheus Cunha went off with an apparent hamstring injury. The £62.5 million Brazilian lasted just under half an hour of the clash at Old Trafford. Just seconds after United took the lead against the newly promoted Clarets, Cunha felt a problem. He went straight down the tunnel and wasn't even treated by the physio before departing. His exit appeared to catch United boss Ruben Amorim off guard, as the home side didn't have a substitute ready to replace the former Wolves forward. Eventually, Joshua Zirkzee entered the fray. The only saving grace of the incident for United is that they're heading into an international week, and they're without a game for a fortnight. On the negative side, their next encounter is a Manchester derby against City at the Etihad. While United have struggled to get their season up and running, and were humiliated against Grimsby in the Carabao Cup, Cunha has started to settle and look the part. Handed the number 10 shirt at the club over the summer, he's expected to find his place as one of Amorim's twin number 10s in his favoured 3-4-2-1 formation, but has mostly been operating as the focal point of the club's attack since joining. And while he has been yet to score, there have been glimpses of the brilliance that made him a fan's favourite at Molineux and one of the Premier League's standout attackers last season, subsequently persuading United to splash the cash to bring him to Old Trafford. Cunha's departure came just moments after United had, somewhat fortunately, taken the lead. Casemiro's header rattled the crossbar, but hit Burnley skipper Josh Cullen on the rebound. Martin Dubravka did his best to prevent the ball from crossing the line, but the technology showed that it had. Eventually, United ran out 3-2 winners, Bruno Fernandes' 97th minute penalty, handing them victory over the Clarets. The Premier League's Match Centre has explained why Manchester United's penalty against Burnley was overturned in controversial fashion. In the opening stages of Saturday's clash, United midfielder Mason Mount looked to have been brought down Burnley right back Kyle Walker, and referee Sam Barrett pointed to the spot. That was despite Burnley's protests that the contact had ended outside of the penalty area. But after a VAR review and having been instructed to look at the pitch side monitor, Barrett concluded that there was no foul, not even awarding a free kick. The decision shocked the crowd, most of whom believed that even if it wasn't a penalty, United would be given a free kick. A post on the Premier League's Match Centre account read, "After VAR review, the referee overturned the original decision of penalty to Manchester United. Referee announcement. After review, Burnley number 2 does not commit a foul on Man United number 7. My final decision is no penalty, him, and drop ball to the goalkeeper." Former Premier League defender Stephen Warnock described the incident was a 50-50, arguing that Walker was simply stronger than Mount. "This is a 50-50 shoulder charge between the two, Mount and Walker is simply too strong," Warnock claimed on Final Score. Mount tries to get his leg across for contact, but then he goes down as a last resort because he knows that he's losing the battle. It is the right decision. They have taken a while to get there, but the officials have worked together and come to the right result. United captain Bruno Fernandes even had the ball in his hands while the VAR check was ongoing. Soon after play had restarted with a drop ball, the Red Devils had another penalty appeal turned down. Burnley left-back Quilinci Hartman stopped United forward Ahmad with a sliding tackle to prompt huge appeals in the Stretford end. Replays showed that Hartman won the ball, and Barrett was right not to award a penalty. The hosts didn't have to wait long for a goal though, coming in fortuitous circumstances. Casemiro's header rattled the crossbar, but hit Burnley skipper Josh Cullen on the rebound. Burnley goalkeeper Martin Dubravka did his best to prevent the ball from crossing the line, but the technology showed that it had. United had 2 golden opportunities to double their lead during the 8 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half, but Ahmad and Joshua Zirkzee both missed their chances to score. Marcus Rashford has put himself in line for the World Cup after making his big career change. England boss Thomas Tuchel underlined his admiration for Rashford by giving him a huge vote of confidence, and he is the only Manchester United player in the squad to face Andorra and Serbia. Rashford, 27, is of course on loan from his parent club to Barcelona. And it is that brave switch which has really caught Tuchel's eye, and is the reason why he has actually included him as one of 3 players who can play wide left. Arsenal new boy Ebereki Eze and Newcastle's Anthony Gordon are also in a fiercely competitive area, but Rashford may just be in pole position. Tuchel says he was impressed when he recalled Rashford last season, and is now determined to take his game to another level by joining Barcelona on a season-long loan. Tuchel said, "I think he had a very good camp. He tried very, very hard to be the best version of himself in the first camp. He was in a good moment in Aston Villa. I wanted to encourage him and give him as a positive feedback, gave him this camp and the call-up. He did very well. He missed the second camp for us. Now he made a big change into a new football culture, new country, but he started already matches for Barcelona, and I wanted to keep him going. It's the one position where we have 3 players. After long discussions, we decided to take 3 players on this position. It's Ebbs, Anthony, and Marcus. I think Marcus gives us one-on-ones. He gives us the finishing ability with both feet. He gives us the body and the speed to intimidate opponents and make the difference. It's on him to keep that going." Tuchel pulled surprises by excluding Trent Alexander-Arnold. There was no place for Kyle Walker, who may get stuck on 96 caps, and no recall for Jack Grealish. But in terms of the inclusions, Jed Spence gets the call, while Elliot Anderson also got his first senior call-up, with the specific idea that England are looking for a new midfield anchorman to give Declan Rice more freedom. Adam Wharton is also in, that Tuchel said. It will depend on how Adam presents himself and depend how Elliot presents himself. They now have a big chance. They are a bit different players. It depends who we play against. Will the structure be the same against Andorra and in Belgrade? The physicality and the individual quality and the style of the teams we play will be very different what we face in Belgrade and in Birmingham. Also, we want to see them. We value training very highly, so we will take this decision when we come to the match. I think all 4 number 6 and number 8 players we chose can play with each other. We are open for any mix. I don't want to give too much away, because it's pretty much open. Meanwhile, Tuchel also admitted that his mission to check out the United States at the Club World Cup this summer has left him with plenty of food for thought ahead of next year. Tuchel added, "It was unbelievably hot. It was very, very hot and very hostile conditions to train and to play. It's one thing to know it, it's another thing to feel it, it's another thing to watch it, it's another thing to play in it. So it was basically just confirmation of what we thought it would be. The distances will be huge, it will be humid, it will be very, very hot." Ruben Amorim's Manchester United reign is hanging by a thread after the Red Devils' humiliating Carabao Cup exit to Grimsby. With crisis talks planned at Old Trafford, the Portuguese boss could soon be offered a lifeline back home, as Benfica keep a close eye on their former midfielder. Ruben Amorim faces showdown talks regarding his Manchester United future, but the Portuguese coach could find refuge at Benfica if his Old Trafford tenure does end prematurely, with his former club keeping tabs. Amorim's time at Old Trafford hit a new low on Wednesday night, as the Red Devils were dumped out of the Carabao Cup by League Two Grimsby on penalties. The ex-Sporting Lisbon boss is nearing his year anniversary in the job, but it has been a disaster thus far. Talks are planned over how to get the team out of the mess they find themselves in, reports The Telegraph. But Amorim has cast doubt over whether he is the man to lead the revival, having struggled to find the answers thus far. If Amorim does leave, whether by his own choosing or because he's axed, then he could find himself on the radar of Benfica. He played for years with the Portuguese giants, and their presidential candidate, João Noronha Lopes, is a big fan. Lopes announced this week that he will be assisted in his campaign by Nuno Gomes, the former Benfica and Portugal frontman, who is also one of Amorim's closest friends. Amorim's stock in his homeland remains sky high. He began his managerial career impressively with Braga before Sporting spent big to hire him. There, he would make them Portugal's dominant force and end their 19-year wait for a league title, adding more honours after that. Lopes has been quizzed about Amorim previously and didn't hide his admiration, As told, record, he's an excellent coach, under contract with Manchester United. I won't destabilise Benfica. They have a very important match ahead of them. United face a huge decision regarding Amorim, whom they have just backed with more than £200 million worth of new talent in the summer. Much of that was brought to aid his system, which he has defiantly stuck to despite it not bringing the results many had hoped. It is almost a year since Ineos axed Erik ten Hag, just months after backing him with a new contract, despite the warning signs being in clear view. They also gave the Dutchman millions to spend in the market, and another managerial misstep will see their judgment severely called into question.